Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the Thai Expat Daily Show. I'm your host, Kieran Mack, as always, and delighted, as always, that you've been able to tune in with us yet again for another show. Now, before we do get into the top 4 stories trending here in Thailand, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when the next Thai Expat Daily Show is uploaded onto the platform. Now, if you like listening to us on a podcast player, look down below in the description, and you will find a link that will take you to a website where all the available podcast players can be found. And finally, if you like the show, if you want to support the show, if you want to buy me a coffee, you can do so by looking down below in the description and following the link to buymeacoffee.com. So now that's all done and dusted, let's start off by looking at the daily and the yearly traffic statistics here in the country. And it's something I always like to do once in a while. It shines a light on how dangerous the roads are in this country, and, just letting tourists and prospective people coming to this country know that if you don't ride a motorbike, if you've never been on a motorbike, Thailand is not the place to be learning. Nevertheless, today, or yesterday, the 18th of August 2023, we had 1,625 people injured on the roads, with 17 people dying. Now, the overall statistics for the whole year, we've had 504,442 injuries, with nearly 9,161 deaths on the road this year. And that is a staggering loss of life for a country of, 60 odd million. And a large amount of that are tourists and expats who are either living in the country or visiting in the country. So if you are coming to the country, please, as always, use common sense. And if you don't ride a motorbike in your home country, don't do it in Thailand. It is certainly, as I said, not the place to learn. But we're going to jump into the top 4 trending stories here in Thailand. We seem to be finally getting closer to having a prime minister and a government. Now, certainly not a government that anyone would have predicted. The Pheu Thai party seemed to be going into coalition with anybody and everybody. Now it has been confirmed that they will enter into coalition with Prayut Chan-o-cha's party, the coup leader himself. The party that was set up for the coup leader to run for prime minister are now going to join the Pheu Thai-led coalition. It really does show you that Pheu Thai will do anything, abandon all morals and standards to bring and try get this guy Thaksin Shinawatra home, because I believe this is the only reason that they're entering into this, is to do deals so this guy who has broken the law, who is facing a 10-year prison sentence, can come back to Thailand and get away scot-free. That's what I think it's all about. We'll see how it pans out. Apparently, according to media reports, he'll be coming home either the 21st or the 22nd of this month by private plane into Don Muang Airport. Let's see if he has the balls to do it. Personally, I don't think he has yet. There's no guarantee about what will happen to him when he arrives, but apparently if he does arrive, he'll be arrested, taken to the Supreme Court, where he'll be there to acknowledge his sentence and brought to jail, and we'll see how quickly he gets out after that. I just don't see how he could or how he would put himself in such jeopardy. To me, it does seem a tad bit odd. Of course, he's in Dubai again now, of course, after telling us last month that he couldn't travel on the date that he was meant to because his doctor said he had to undergo some tests in Hong Kong. But after that, he managed to get to Cambodia and now Dubai. So let's see which way he turns up at this time. My predictions are maybe he comes back. It'll only be if a deal's done to let him off scot-free, but we'll see. Nevertheless, lengthy parliamentary debate expected during PM selection on August 22nd. So August 22nd has been the date selected, guys. Pheu Thai's party prime ministerial candidate does not need to give a vision statement during the joint sitting of Parliament scheduled on August 22nd to select the prime minister, said House Speaker Wan Muhamad Noor Matha at a press conference today. Members of the two houses will, he said, be allowed to engage in a debate before the selection process for about 5 hours from 10 a.m, with the senators allocated 2 hours and the MPs up to 3. The Pheu Thai party appears determined to nominate Sareta Tavasin, a former real estate tycoon, as its prime ministerial candidate. Before the press conference, Wan was at a meeting with the Senate and the House whips to discuss the prime minister's selection in detail. Regarding the vision statement, Wan said that one is not required by the Constitution nor in the meeting regulations, and hence it is not required from the candidate. On the urgent motion submitted by the Move Forward Party MP Rangsiman Rome, asking Parliament to review its previous decision rejecting the re-nomination of Move Forward Party leader Peter Limjanarat, Wan said that the whips agreed that Rangsiman should be allowed to submit the motion, but the House Speaker should invoke his power to reject it. So that's where we are. Prime Ministerial vote on August 22nd. And for people who don't know, by the way, Srettha Thavisin he's not an MP or anything. You're allowed to nominate an outsider for Prime Minister. Personally, I think it's wrong. I think you should have to run as an MP and you have to be elected by the people to be able to be then nominated to the Prime Ministerial chair. I think that would be a much fairer way. The fact that these guys don't even run for office, it to me is very, very strange. But nevertheless, that is the way things are set up at the moment here in Thailand. By the way, Peter Limjaroenrat did run and he is an MP, so his selection process would have been better in my opinion. But nevertheless, we'll move on to some more tourism news. Bookings are down as China slumps. China's economic woes are pressuring inbound tourism during the Golden Week holiday in October, leading to sluggish forward bookings according to the tourism operators. Sawat Akarawat, Vice President of the Tourism Council of Thailand, said travel agents reported slower bookings than usual for China's National Day, one of the longest holidays in that country. Mr. Surawat said the decline is attributed to a sluggish economic recovery that is taking a toll on spending as deflation looms. In the property sector, giant company Country Garden missed a bond payment, leading to concerns about the domestic economy. The Chinese government is also promoting domestic tourism to stimulate local consumption, he said. Regarding the slow tourist visa application process for Chinese visitors, Mr. Surawat said he believes this is not a major factor for the decline in arrivals, with economic woes the main culprit. He said the process has been eased as the Department of Consular Affairs vowed to improve its approval system. Many Chinese tourists can also choose visa on arrival as an alternative method. Mr. Surawat said as China continues to promote exports and has business travellers visiting other countries, Thailand should ramp up marketing towards the MICE, that's the Meeting, Incentives, Convention and Exhibitions market, and independent tourists instead of focusing on tour groups. He predicted Thailand could tally 500,000 Chinese visitors per month in the fourth quarter because of higher flight capacity. The country welcomed 1 million visitors per month from the mainland in 2019. Now, the chairperson for marketing at the Thai Hotels Association, Kun Prachum, said hotels in Phuket are gradually gaining bookings from Chinese tourists during Golden Week, though they remain subdued compared with past years because of limited flight supply and tepid economic growth. However, Phuket can expect a promising high season thanks to long-haul travellers from Europe and Russia, she said. These markets are increasing bookings in October, which is a month ahead of their usual travel period, said Ms. Pachum. This should help the increase in occupancy rate and diversify the market to offset Chinese slowdown. Despite the lower volume, inbound Chinese tourists have relatively high spending power, especially young couples and families with stable jobs and wealth, she said. So again, Thailand, I don't think Thailand have learned anything from COVID. This is what I'm starting to come to the realization about. During COVID, I think the main message that we were getting from the Tourism Authority of Thailand and the government was we need to have sustainable tourists. We don't need to be putting all our eggs in one basket, all our eggs, focusing on the Chinese market, focusing on European travelers. Because when you have a pandemic, when you have things that go wrong, your source of money dries up. And basically their vision during COVID was all nonsense, was all bullshit. As soon as the gates open, it's back to the old ways of doing things like in 2019. As many guests and travellers into this country as possible and extract as much money out of them. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But, you can't go around for 3 years telling everybody how you're going to practice sustainable tourism and you want quality over quantity. And then the second the doors reopen, they're doing the complete opposite of what they've been saying. They basically wasted everybody's time and money, by the way, because they spend a great deal of money promoting all these ideas during COVID. And of course, now we can see it was all just talk more than anything else. But nevertheless, the high season coming is looking good in terms of European and Russian bookings. I'm not sure if the Europeans and the Russians are going to get along too well. I do think that some Europeans are being put off coming to the likes of Phuket because of the Russian population that are currently here. And that is certainly being voiced in a lot of UK publications and European publications at the moment. So people are thinking twice because some just don't want to be around Russians because of the Ukraine war. And that is a fact of life at the moment. Now, you can say that's right or wrong, but that is the way things are. Look, at the end of the day, my hope is that Thai people earn a good living out of it all. and, that the island and Thailand in general, because the article's talking about Phuket, but Phuket is not a place that needs to be, full to the brim all the time. There is no sustainable tourism within Phuket at the moment, and it's kind of laughable for a place that wants to be promoted as this world-class destination. Again, we can always talk about it. No proper public transportation, roads are fairly decrepit. One airport that really is still not up to the standard of international airports, and absolutely taxi mafia everywhere ripping people off. And you see it in the news on a daily basis. So these problems still haven't been solved, but Phuket still want more tourists, and they don't understand that these issues also do hinder people coming to Phuket and Thailand, of course. But I'd love to know your opinion about it all. Do you think there is a huge over-reliance on the international markets when they should maybe be focusing more on domestic tourism as well? Because I think there is a sense that Thai people are being left behind since the pandemic kind of finished up and Thailand reopened. Love to know your thoughts, as always, down below in the comment section. Now, an interesting story going around, and I'll just read it to you. I'll go through it and we can discuss it after. Hotels threat to sack bereaved woman decreed. The Minister of Labour is investigating a 5-star hotel that had allegedly fired one of its employees who had to take time off work to take care of her dying mother. Labour Minister Suchart Chomklin ordered the investigation after the plight of the former employee caused an uproar on social media. The woman, who worked at a luxury resort in Pak Chong district of Nakhon Ratchasima province, posted a screenshot of a conversation with her ex-supervisor in which she requested extended leave as she had to take care of her terminally ill mother, a request her supervisor denied. When her mother passed away, the employee asked her supervisor for some more time off so she could return to her home province of Buriram for the funeral. In response, the supervisor replied, "Are you saying you're quitting the job? Once you're done with your personal business, drop by and sign your resignation letter." The post was shared more than 60,000 times, with most of the comments blasting the supervisor's callousness. Mr. Suchard said he had instructed the Department of Labour Protection and Welfare to look into the matter. Now, according to the Labour Protection Act, all employees, including those who are still on probation and daily labourers, are entitled to take 3 days off each year to attend to personal business. An inspector from the Labour Protection and Welfare Office in Nakhon Ratchasima has been sent to the hotel on a fact-finding mission, said Niyam Asongkau, the department director. Employees who believe they have been or are being mistreated by their employers can file a complaint at their local Labour Protection Office, Mr. Niyam added. On Thursday, a group of hotel executives went to the funeral of Wat Tri Pum Wanaram in Muang district of Buriram. They reassured the woman her job was secure. The hotel has suspended her boss pending an investigation. Now, a statement was released by the hotel, which is the Intercontinental Khao Yai Resort, by the way. And the general manager, Sandy Liu, put out this statement, which really is just nonsensical. Following the recent incident that has been widely reported on social media, we have suspended a member of staff from the resort while we continue the investigation into the manager's conduct. One of our colleagues has recently lost her mother, and we want to express our profound sympathy and support for her and her grieving family. They are not alone. We stand by them during this trying time with unwavering compassion. The well-being of our colleagues is a priority etched in our hearts. Within the resort, we hold steadfast to IHG Hotel and Resorts values, which underscore doing what's right and genuinely caring. These principles illuminate our path and define our every endeavour. So this is the statement from the Intercontinental Khao Yai, the hotel responsible for all this. What to say about that? It's the supervisor. I think it's more a manager. If you're in a hotel and you're calling in sick, you're going to be getting to the manager. Supervisors don't have that much power, and they certainly don't have the power to kick you out. So it's definitely a manager in the hotel, probably restaurant, bar, something like that. First and foremost, just the lack of compassion, humanity by this person to treat another employee in such a way. Now, they obviously know the mother has terminal cancer. The staff member's gone home to take care of them. They probably taken a leave without pay for a couple of weeks, which would be normal. And they might have some holidays saved up and they're taking them. And then the mother passes away and they get a message like that. When you're finished, come back and pick up your resignation, or bring your resignation letter and sign it. Like you're fired. What kind of people are running this hotel? What kind of person is in charge of people like that? And to me, I've never really heard of anything like that in Thailand, because I always thought that Thai people are very compassionate when it comes to funerals and, people passing and things like this. And there's a general compassion amongst Thai people. But I wonder, is this a Thai person? It's Intercontinental. It's a well-known hotel. Is it a foreigner they were talking with? It's hard to know. Of course, they haven't given any details, so we're only kind of guessing through all of this. But nevertheless, the statement from the manager to me is pathetic. If you're going to come out and you're going to make a statement, have the balls to, call out what was going on. Say this is wrong a bit more, a bit stronger, To me, it's all too scripted, and there's no real passion or heart beyond it. It's something Intercontinental scripted themselves, sent out to me as well. General manager of the hotel, she's got to know what kind of staff she's working underneath her. Got to know stuff like this is going on. It's probably not the first time this has gone on, by the way, because if the manager so easily did this, it's probably not the first time. Sounds like a bully. Sounds like somebody you certainly don't want working for you. And I hope they're not in any form of job where they're dealing with people in the future. But to me, it's disgusting the way that lady was treated. And I genuinely hope that Intercontinental get off their asses, support this woman. And also a nice bit of compensation, in my opinion, is warranted on this occasion. But nevertheless, I'd love to know what you think about it, guys, down below in the comment section. And finally, Phuket joins in the crackdown on Chinese rip-off schemes at temples. This is quite interesting. Phuket tourist police and tourism officials have begun their inspections of temples across Phuket to ensure they comply with an edict by the Sangha Supreme Council to not allow foreigners to rent areas at temples in order to profit from tourists. The edict, issued last Saturday, specifically mentioned people selling Thai amulets to Chinese tourists and people fraudulently impersonating monks in order to sell amulets at greatly inflated prices. Also noted was that it was Chinese investors primarily of concern in carrying out the practices. Penalties will be imposed on monks that allow such practices at the temple, and criminal charges will be levied against all parties involved, the edict said. Practice like those found at Wat Khao Shishan in Chonburi will not be tolerated, and that's according to the National Office of Buddhism. Police Colonel Pasit, Deputy Superintendent of the Tourism Police Division 3, led the inspection at several main temples across Phuket yesterday. Joining him were a number of high-ranking officials from the Department of Tourism and Sports and from the Phuket Buddhism Office. Among the temples inspected yesterday were Wat Lat Thai in Shillong, Wat Sawang Aram in Rawai, and Rat Khao Rang in Phuket Town. The team inspected the temples' areas and questioned leading monks at the temples, but no infractions were reported. Of course, the no infractions were reported. Probably they were given advance notice beforehand and they cleared everybody out. That's normally how it goes around here. Any of these inspections, it normally starts off with the people doing the criminal activity, getting the phone call, the tip off, and then they flee before anybody turns up. And then, oh, it's all perfect here, nothing wrong, let's move along. Kind of good to see that people are taking these things a little bit seriously, but then again, they have to understand and probably know that tip off is probably being done in these situations. But nevertheless, that's it for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show as always. We'll be with you in the next couple of days. As always, stay safe out there and have a great day. But ultimately, with this story or anything else that stood out to you today, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Because yes, this is a news show, but it's also a conversation. Now keep that conversation going. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and do all the good stuff that does help that YouTube algorithm. But ultimately, my name is Kieran Mack. You've been listening to the Thai Expat Daily Show, and we will see you next time.